Hey, Shalom, Shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone that rule well, that teach well, while learning truth 100% according to the Bible. I also want to say Shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophet servants, scattered abroad the four corners of the earth, and Shalom to you, Akwaf, which are you sisters that are sincere in your children. Shalom. And in today's video, as you can see, is going to be this video from the Brother the Hopeful Elect 3 again, building off of this video where you basically had this Jake talking about there's not going to be any civil wars in America. And we know that there will be civil wars in this place, America, man. You know, it's all part of prophecy. It tells you that in the book of Matthew 24:7, for nation shall rise against nation. You know, that's talking about different people against each other, man. You know, so we know Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah is going to bring forth race wars in these latter times, man. You know, and we're seeing the buildup of them now, you know, with everything that's happening with the whole ICE deportation things that is going on, how the ICE is coming after the Northern Kingdom, snatching them up. Then you also got them saying that they're going to get ready to deport 500,000 Haitians. So, I mean, hey, everything is being built and established in this society for civil mayhem and, you know, civil unrest, man. And that's what's definitely going to come, man. Lord Yahweh said he was going to bring that. This is St. Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. It said, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword, man. When you go into that word sword, it goes into also chaos, destruction, calamities, but also it means division, you know, people being at odds, people being at variance, you know, and things like that. So we know that there's going to be a lot of tension amongst these so-called Americans, man. You know, and the Lord is ultimately the one that's bringing all of these events. So we know that there will be civil wars in this country in the very near future, man. And we're already seeing the beginning stages of it, you know. So I'm actually getting to this video and let it play. We're going to listen to what Jake is saying, and I'm going to get a few more precepts. And Lord's willing to be edifying. But with that being said, before I get into the video, I'm going to say fair use under the 1976 Copyright Act. Not getting paid for this video. This is only for educational purposes only. Fair use.
A lot of shit talking about that Civil War. I don't think 85% of the motherfuckers in America is ready for a fucking Civil War. Ain't nobody ready for that. This ain't the 1900s no more, where motherfuckers feel like if they didn't fight for their life, or if they didn't fight the North, then everything they know and believe will die. This ain't that type of ball game no more.
Right? And we hear what it is Jake is saying, you know, but we know according to the prophecies that these things will take place, because ultimately there's going to be a lot of things that is going to lead up to this civil war taking place, you know. And I'm actually get to this precept that I got right here. I'm going to start at 2nd Ezra chapter 15, and I'm going to start at verse 14, and I'm going to move down, right? It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Woe meaning destruction. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth not, which it means is coming quickly. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords, the modern day sword is the gun, in their hands, man. So this is what's going to take place very soon in this country of America. And like I said, everything you see is building up and leading to that happening, man. You know, all of these things are going to take place, right? This is verse 16, for there should be sedition among men. Don't you already have that happening now here in America, but on a small scale, but it's going to continue to grow and to escalate. That means people are going to be uprising against the government. You see that happening now with the Northern Kingdom, how they're going up against ICE. You know, how they're throwing bricks at their cars and all type of other things, you know, setting stuff on fire. So, I mean, we already seeing the beginning stages of these things happening, man. Like I said, you know, it's just going to continue to get worse and worse and worse as time progresses. But these events will take place, man. Right. And it says, and invading one another. Right. Because people are going to be invading one another, man. You know, it's going to be complete lawlessness out here in America, Babylon the Great. Right. It said they shall not regard their kings nor princes. Right. That's going into the police department, the government. These people are not going to be listening to these people in the very near future, man. And we already see them doing it now on a small scale, you know, but it's only going to get worse, you know. But these people are not going to acknowledge the government. They're not going to acknowledge none of these people, man. It's going to be complete, utter chaos happening out here soon in America, man. You know, it tells you that also in Matthew 24:12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. The word cold in the Greek goes into psychos or crazy. So you're going to have a lot of people out here in these latter times bugging out, losing their mind, just doing stuff just to do it. Right. And this is verse, I'm going to read verse 16 still. It said, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, right? And that's why you see the National Guard being deployed to all of these different types of states. Just happened in Cali. You had, I believe, over 700 Marines that were deployed there over 2-3 weeks ago when those protests occurred. All of those things are the beginning signs, man, of what's to come, man, right? It says, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, man. So the reason you won't be able to move around in these cities freely in the very near future, because you're going to have martial law going on, man. And that's going to be the reaction to the government ultimately seeing all of this mayhem and catastrophe that's going to be occurring in America. They're going to deploy military everywhere. And we already see them doing that on a small scale now. Like I said before, that's why you got the National Guard. Every time you look in the news, they're being deployed either to a protest, they're being deployed to a park or anything else, man. But do you know these governors and politicians, they're getting you people's minds prepared for seeing the military all the time. Because soon to come, the military is going to be the police force, man. They're going to be the ones on the streets marching and, you know, arresting people and putting people down and all of these different types of things. This is the time of season that we're coming into, man. Right. And it says, verse 18, for because of their pride, right, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid, you know. So this all goes back to the wickedness of the people, why the Lord is going to bring forth this evil time, man, you know. As it tells you in 2nd Esdras 8:50, for many great miseries, right, shall be done unto them. Talking about these people, these 2/3 and these heathens here in this place, America, because they have walked in great pride, man. You know, so that's why the Lord is going to bring unimaginable amount of terror upon these people very soon, man. You know, and I'm actually read this verse right here. This is verse 19. It said, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, right? So people is not going to be caring about anybody, man. You know, it tells you that in this scripture. I'm going to get this one. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 6. And I'm going to read verse 24. It said, and at that time shall friends, right, meaning neighbors, people that have been close to each other, right, fight one against another like enemies, right? That's what these people are going to be doing very soon, man. You know, the Lord said in a man's foes should be they of his own household, you know, roughly paraphrasing. So a person's biggest enemy is going to be those that's close to them, those that they, you know, are next to, that they have a good relationship with. Allegedly, those are going to be the main people. When these times come, they're going to turn their backs on each other. People are going to be fighting. There's going to be a lot of division, man, you know. And it says, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run, right? So like I said before, you know, people are going to fight against each other, man. That's the time of seasons that's coming. You know, this is what's going to manifest very soon, right? But I'm going to get back 2nd Esdras 15-19. It said, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, right? There's going to be a lot of people ransacking people's houses, going in their houses, taking whatever it is they can get, whether it's resources, food, etc., water, whatever it is. People are going to be doing these things, right? So we know that there's going to be a famine as well, because that's what all of this ties into, why the chaos is going to be so prevalent, because people are not going to have anything to eat out here, man. Once everything shuts down and these devils fully try to come with this NWO agenda like they're ultimately trying to do, which is going to fail. But, you know, everything is going to be, you know, you're only going to be able to get certain things is if you go through the government, basically. So that's what everything is being set up for. That's why you're going to have so much mayhem out here in these streets, man, because everything that these people have now is going to be taken away from them. Their internet, their social media, you know, their so-called bank accounts that they love and that they boast about. All of this stuff is going to be taken away. And what you think these people are going to do when their whole life as they know it, right, and that they live thinking it's going to continue to go on, it comes to a halt, you know, due to something happening in the society or, you know, the Lord just shaking things up. You know, these people are going to lose their minds, man. Right. And that's why you're going to have it being so chaotic out here, man. You know, it said and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So all due to it not being too much any food out here. You know, a lot of people are going to be, you know, deleting each other, man. You know, fighting against each other, you know, for loaves of bread and canned goods, man. This is what's going to come out here to this place, America, man. You know, and this is what we warned you people about. You know, that these times are fastly approaching, you know. So I'm going to get back into the video.
This ain't that type of ball game no more. We got it's a lot of civilians, boy. It's a lot of people that don't believe in having guns. It's a lot of people, black and white. It's going to be so many casualties. Because the Civil War is going to turn right into a race war. That's exactly what's going to happen. It ain't going to stay a civil war.
Right. And he's absolutely right. That's what's coming. Race wars, man. Class wars, civil wars, gender wars. You know, that's what's happening. And that's what's going to come, man.
It ain't going to be left wing versus right wing. No. It's going to be white versus black. And even if it started off left wing versus right wing, it's going to end white versus black. I guarantee you, bro. The shit going to turn into the purge. People don't know what they want. People don't know what they getting themselves into when they speaking about this shit. Motherfuckers ain't got no comeback skill.
Right. And that's what's coming, man. You know, so I'm going to get this precept right here. This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2. And talking about the Heavenly Father, man, who's in control of all of these things, right? It said, we'll set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Talking about you people here in America, Babylon the Great, right? You Babylonians, you so-called Americans, modern day Egyptians, right? And they shall fight, everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom, man. So that's what's going to come, you know. No better way of putting it. There will be race wars, man. There will be civil unrest like never before plaguing this place, America, very soon, man. And like I said, we're in the beginning stages of seeing that, you know. Everything is only going to continue to get worse and worse, man. You know, it's going to be, you know, complete hell happening out here in this country, man. You know, that's why you're ultimately going to need the protection from Yahweh Bashim Yahushua in these times, man. Because that's just how bad it's going to be out here, that if you don't have that protection of the Lord, man, that you're not going to make it, man. You know? And I'm actually go to that precept, right? Just bear with me. This is Isaiah. Because the Lord's elect is going to be spared in all of these times when all of these disasters and evils and things like this actually begin to manifest. You know, the Lord is going to take care of his elect men and the elect lady and their children, man. They're going to be protected in these times. But everybody else, you know, you 2/3 and all of you other heathens, man, you people are going to get caught up in all of this judgment that the Lord is about to bring forth, right? This is Isaiah 33:6 in the KJV. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times," right? So the only thing is going to keep you stable in these times that we're coming into is the knowledge and wisdom of the scriptures, man. You know, having the true names of the Heavenly Father in the Hebrew tongue, you know, things like that, man. That is the only thing going to keep you stable, man. If you don't have a 100% truth according to the Bible, you don't have the names, you think you're going to call on Jesus and all of these idols and all of this madness, you're not going to be spared in these times to come, man. And the only ones that are going to be stable during this time are the Lord's elect, man. You know, that's why we ultimately pray Lord's will to be a part of that number, because we know they're going to be the only ones that is going to be level-headed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua when all of these disasters begin to occur, right? And it says, "And the strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure." And we know what it says in Psalms 34:7. The angel of the Lord encamp around about those that fear him and deliver them, talking about the elect, man. So the Lord is going to deliver the elect out of these horrific times that are to come. When all of this hell begins to really break loose in this place, America, the Lord is going to be with his elect, man. You know, but the rest of you people, man, like the guy in the video said, you're going to have to fend for yourself, man. People are not going to know what to do, man. You know? But hey, that's why we told you people to turn back to the Lord. Mainly you Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians to seek the Lord, man. And to seek him now, because these times are coming quicker than what a lot of you people believe, man. You know, this stuff is coming quickly. You know, it won't be 20 years from now, 5 years from now, 3, 4 years from now. No, the Lord is bringing these evils quickly, man. You know, these stuff's about to manifest very fast, man. These times are on the horizon, man. We're in the beginning stages of these things taking place, you know? So I'm actually getting another precept, man. This is Psalms, because this is what all of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians should be doing. But we know ultimately this word is only for the elect. So only the elect are going to be doing these things and applying it. Everybody else is not, man. And that's why when these miseries and these evils do occur, people are going to get overthrown by it, man. This is Psalms chapter 2, verse 12. It said, "Kiss the Son," meaning our Lord Yahushua, which means being immersed with him, you know, being in his good graces, you know, staying close to the Lord, you know, especially now seeing everything that's happening, man. Why would you not want to be seeking the Lord? Why would you not want to be getting close to the Lord? Seeing all of the things that are about to occur in the very near future, man, you got to be a fool to not be seeking after the Lord in these times, man. But like I said, this all goes back to these people pride. And that's why these miseries and these evil times are going to fall upon you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, you 2/3 of our people, man. right? It said, kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and ye perish from the way when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are all they that put their trust in him. And that's what the Lord's elect is going to do in this time. They're going to have their trust and their faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. That's why when these evils do begin to occur, they're going to be stable, right? Like I read earlier in Isaiah 33:6, man. They're going to be stable in these times, man. But the rest of you people, y'all are going to be bugging out, losing your mind, not knowing what to do, going crazy, committing suicide. Oh, yeah, it's going to be terrible out here, man, especially for you non-believers, man. You know, it's going to be bad for you people, man. You 2/3 and you heathens, right? So I'm going to get back into this video. Bear with me.
Motherfuckers just think they're gonna be able to shoot guns and just gonna be it. No, you can't fight. You don't know how to use a knife. You don't know how to throw a knife. You don't know how to do none of that shit. When you run out of bullets, what's gonna happen? When you run out of bullets and that motherfucker didn't know how to fight, run up on your ass, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? That's what I don't understand about these people just hollering about this shit. Motherfuckers got families. Motherfuckers got jobs. People ain't ready to give up these lives. The only people who gonna be properly prepared for this shit is, I think, rednecks, hillbillies, and the black ghetto.
Right. And you hear what it is he's saying, and those are the main people that are preparing for these things. You know, you got these white militias. You know, they're preparing to come up against you Israelites, man, and to smite you and to put you down, man. You know, that's the time of season that we're about to come into, man. That's why it's called Jacob's trouble, man, because you're going to have all of these militias that have been, you know, practicing and training for years for stuff like this to happen. And they're going to be deleting a lot of you jakes, man. It's going to be a field day out here with these Edomites, man. You know, when they start inflicting pain upon you Israelites, man. And that's what's going to happen. And the Lord is going to use this man to bring forth a lot of judgment upon you wicked jakes, man. You know, it tells you that this man is the sword of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. You know, in the book of Psalms 17:13, King David said that, deliver me from him which is thy sword, you know, roughly paraphrasing it. But this man is the sword of the Lord, man. And the Lord is going to allow this devil to get busy upon a lot of you jakes, man. You know, that's what's going to come. Right. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 13. I'm going to start at verse 29. It said, and behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, talking about his elect. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. Right. Verse 31, this is the point. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another. Right. And one realm against another. So, yeah, like I said before, it's going to be complete and utter chaos happening out here in America, man, very soon. And if you're not protected by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, man, then, you know, that's why we say, Lord's will we be of the elect, because we don't know. We pray and hope that the Lord has mercy upon us, you know, because if you don't have that Dawah, man, which it tells you about in Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4 on down, being exempt from this judgment, then, hey, you're not going to make it, man. No matter how many guns you got, no matter how much you prep on food, no matter how much you lean unto your own understanding, you know, and things of that nature, you're not going to make it, man. Simple. If the Lord ain't with you, you're not going to make it. You're finished. You know, and that's what a lot of these people are going to get a rude awakening to, that, hey, it doesn't matter how many weapons you got or how much stuff you store up upon. If you don't got the Lord, you're not going to make it, Jack. Right? So I'm going to get this precept right here. This is Ezekiel chapter 9, and I'm going to start at verse 4. It said, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, which is a people before is a place. So-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Specklebergs, who may look like the heathens, but their seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It said, and set a mark, right, which means to be exempt from judgment, the Dawah, upon the foreheads of the men, talking about the elect, that sign that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, right? Verse 5, and to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after them through the city and smite, right, means to delete, to put down, to kill, man. And that's what Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is going to allow to get busy in these times, man. You know, it tells you that in the book of Sirach. I'm going to get that precept next, Lord's will. Right? But it says, let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity, man. And that's what these rednecks, these Edomites, and all of these other white militias that's ready to come after you jakes, that's what they're going to be doing, man. They're not going to have no pity, man, you know, upon you Israelites, man, not upon your kids, not upon you. This is why we tell you people to seek after the Lord now, why he may be found, man. Because when this time really does come, hey, and you ain't got the Lord, you're done. Right? This is verse 6. Slay utterly old and young. Right? That's talking about your wife, your kids, whoever, man. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is no respect to persons, man. As he tells you in Romans 2 and 11, when this time actually comes, the Lord is going to be doing a lot of deleting, man. There's going to be a lot of killing happening, man. You know? It says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, right? So you women out there, y'all ain't safe neither at all, especially you wicked women of the tribes, man. You know, y'all ain't safe at all neither from the Lord. You're going to get judged too, man. Right? It says, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, talking about the elect, right? And began at my sanctuary, then they began at the ancient men, which were before the house, right? So I'm going to get this precept that I got, right, through the Spirit. This is Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, in the Apocrypha, chapter 39, verse 28, because this is what the Lord ultimately has. And this is what he's going to allow to get busy in these times, right? It said there be spirits that are created for vengeance, right? Talking about these wicked people that are walking around out here, man, right? Which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In a time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. And this is what the Lord is going to be unleashing in these times when all of this hell breaks loose. There's going to be spirits created for vengeance, man. Spirits that are literally created just to bring forth judgment upon wicked people, man. The Lord has death angels, man. And these death angels take the form of humans as well, man. And they're going to be doing a lot of smiting in these times, man. Right? This is verse 29. It said fire and hail and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance, right? Verse 30. It says teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, right? Which is talking about the gun, right? Punishing the wicked to destruction. So this is what the Lord is going to do, man. He's going to use all of these events, these race wars, these class wars, all of these different judgments that he's going to bring forth to punish you wicked people, man. You know? And like I said before, you people were warned. So whether you hear or forbear, you know, you're going to know that a prophet have been among you, man, when these times begin to actually start manifesting and coming, you know. So, yeah, that's pretty much everything I had to say with today's video. Lord's willing, I pray it be edifying. Till the next time, I'm going to say shalom to the elect.